are searching for places that feel timeless and connected to something bigger. Well, here in the White Mountains, this resort has been doing that for guests for 124 years. Hello, everyone. I'm Céline McArthur, and this is the Omni Mount Washington Resort and Spa. World leaders have stayed here, baseball legends too, and families returning for generations. This isn't just a resort, it's living American history. And as America celebrates 250, we take a closer look at what role this resort plays in our nation's story.
It's fun to watch people walk in and they recognize that, or they realize that they're walking into another time. They're literally, in this building, entering what we call the Gilded Age of the early 20th century.
This used to be one of dozens of grand hotels up here. Now it's one of the last. People came by train to get out of the city and stay somewhere that felt different.
This was where you went to get away. This is where you went on vacation. We know that Babe Ruth frequented this place. This was one of his favorite golf courses.
But its defining moment came during World War II. In 1944, this resort became the site of the Bretton Woods Conference. 44 countries all here trying to figure out what the post-war financial world would look like.
The Mount Washington Hotel was picked for the site of what we today would call a summit of major nations.
So why here? Because it was remote, easy to secure during the war, cool in the summer, and big enough to hold the world.
Three major things came out of the conference. Number one was establishment of the gold standard, the International Monetary Fund, and the other is the World Bank. And those two still exist today.
By the time the world arrived in 1944, the hotel was ready, but it had been pulled together fast.
With the combination of the Depression and the war, it had fallen into some state of disrepair. But it had to be spruced up for the conference because the world was coming to Bretton Woods. Everybody was given 50 gallons of white paint and told if it doesn't move, paint it. I'm talking about the Tiffany glass. I'm talking about the wallpaper. I'm talking about the beautiful mahogany doors that you see here. And to this day, you can still see traces of the white paint.
Inside the Gold Room, world leaders signed what became the Bretton Woods Agreement.
And for that reason, it is the icon that it is today.
But the real work didn't stay in one room.
As anybody who's been to any kind of a conference, that's the fancy side. The real work is done in the hallways and in the bars.
Some of those conversations happened downstairs in a place called the Cave.
It was originally the hotel's squash court, but during Prohibition it became a speakeasy. The guests would sit around a squash court and they would drink Canadian whiskey out of tea service. And if it looked like the G-men, if Elliot Ness and his crowd was coming in, everybody dumped the whiskey, and by the time the G-men got in here, all they saw was people sipping tea, watching a squash game.
All of it built by Italian craftsmen more than a century ago.
And they literally quarried rock here on property, and that is now the wall in the cave.
Every morning, Jim and his team of volunteers lead free tours through the resort's history. One of those moments brought a family from Italy face to face with their own history.
We had an opportunity to give a tour last summer to a family from Italy whose great-grandfather was one of the stonemasons who actually lived in a little village called Little Italy, which was a tent city.
I think about the things that he did here, how he did it, how he came in this country, how he got here. It's amazing the history behind being an immigrant in this country. This country is the great country in the world. Italy too, okay?
For me, it was the first human connection to the creation of the building that I'm so in love with and I want to tell everybody about.
And even today, you can still see people who worked here in the details they left behind. Down a narrow hallway called the Hall of Signatures, staff wrote their names and the years they were here.
100 years ago. That's living history right here in this building.
As America turns 250, this place is still here, still standing, still in use, still part of the story.
Being 124 years old, we tell a good part of the country's history.
And the history is part of why people visit, but they come back because they love being here. Drinks on the veranda, a round of golf.
That's it. Ooh.
An afternoon by the pool, a few days with the people that matter to them.
We immediately decompressed. Everything was right with the world. No matter how bad the week was, we were in New Hampshire.
You can learn more at BrettonWoods.com. We'll see you here.